Welcome back to the Conspiracy Outpost. This week, we are thrilled to take you on an extraordinary journey into a chilling chapter of history that remained buried in secrecy for decades. We are diving deep into the mysterious world of Project Iceworm. I am your host, Casey.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jarama Joe.
I'm Wesley.
And I'm Matt.
Anybody do any research on this, or
We watched some videos, and Wesley looked up some stuff.
Yes. We watched Tremors.
I watched Tremors. Is that the right one?
I watched the SpongeBob episode with the Alaskan bullworm.
I watched Slither and The Thing.
Mike,
I watched Beetlejuice.
Mike, I'm going to slither my thing into your craw.
No.
Don't do that. All right, Casey, why don't you go ahead and tell us about Project Big Worm?
so? Let's get a little background info before we get into it. So, as the Cold War was getting colder, the United States and the Soviet Union were not only locked down into competition for the most capable and most powerful nuclear weapons, but also they were devising creative ways to deliver them. Both sides were aware that any nuclear attack would begin with attacking each nation's nuclear arsenals in order to limit their capability to respond. The Soviet Union had things like armored trains that could transport their ICBMs around Siberia, and also utilized modified helicopter contraptions capable of delivering huge nuclear payloads to distant launch sites.
Casey, let's go stop you right there. I don't think they should be loading up their BMs like that, and their like any bowel movement that's not considered a payload.
It's
other than that payload Joe left in your ass last time you were here.
So basically, this is like the Worms video game.
What?
Yes.
What is the Worms video game? What is that?
It's like a turn-based shooting game.
It's a turn-based side-scrolling tactical shooting game.
Like Metal Slug?
No, it's like a tactical strategy.
It's like usually like a 6v6 of Worms.
Yeah. So you have a team of it's like tanks, because you have to level out your shooting. Yeah, it's like a side-scrolling like tanks is pretty much. You have a certain amount of movement.
Platformer
guns. I don't know the proper terminology.
It's Worms.
Me and Matthew have it for Switch. Matthew, if you remember.
Yeah, Worms is fun, dude.
It is pretty fucking fun. I can't play with my daughter because she won't know the mechanics, and I'll have to beat her ass because I have to show honor for my ancestors. Later. But yeah, anyways, Casey, sorry.
For my worms.
So with all this Soviet Union ingenuity, the United States were motivated by fear of nuclear annihilation. So they also looked into creative ways for nuclear war, and even used foreign soil, which will segue into what we're going to talk about, Project Iceworm. So in 1951, the United States and Denmark, who are both founding members of NATO, signed the Defense of Greenland Agreement. And this treaty was intended to negotiate agreements under which armed forces of the parties of NATO members could make use of the facility in defense of Greenland and the rest of Greenland in the North Atlantic Treaty Area. And with this treaty, it allowed the United States to build military bases in Greenland. And so over the next decade, they built 3 different air bases. I don't know how to say these, but Narsar Square, something like that.
Narsar Square.
Yeah. Sundestrom and Thule. Those they're hard words. You don't need to, like, as long as you say them with conviction, people will just assume you're right. Narsar Square, they're like, it must be Narsar Square.
It's all about
like, oh yeah, I know about that Narsar Square.
And I want to know why our fucking other podmate Nasty Nate doesn't go by Nasty NATO. It's like an alliance.
But these 3 bases provided refueling points and base of operations for intermediate range strategic bombers, in addition to the United States deployed radar stations in Greenland to maintain ballistic missile early warning systems and distant early warning system lines. These stations would give the United States an advance warning of a Soviet nuclear attack. And only one of these bases are still in operation today. It's the Thule base, which is less than 1,000 miles from the North Pole, which the United States Air Force, which is the United States Air Force's northmost base.
Well, I assume we probably got rid of 2 of them because technology got better, so we can probably see farther. We don't need them spread out as much. So we probably could reduce funding and just still see the same amount, if not more.
I thought our most northern base was in the North Pole. Now we're Santa hides our nukes.
I was about to say, no, that's Santa's base.
He has, damn.
Here's the thing, Santa's not part of NATO. He's not.
No, he's actually
not yet.
Actually, he was actually a very strong supporter of communism and was he loved fucking Soviet Russia.
He almost joined, like, when he found out that we were constantly going to war with Muslim countries, and he's like, that's what I'm about. It's like, damn, Santa, you anti-Semitic? He's like, yeah.
He actually flew missiles. He actually flew missiles in his sled, guided by reindeer, and he called the missiles. They were called rain spears, and it would just fucking launch down like hail, like rain.
Yeah, they'd explode in a beautiful fountain of tinsel. Yeah, but this tinsel's like barbed wire, so it fucked people up.
Yeah, dude, you don't even want to know what his shrapnel grenades are made of. It was just fucking sharpened candy canes. It's fucking launched.
Fun fact, Matthew actually sharpened all those with his mouth.
That's true. He kept getting pissed that Santa was only giving him like regular sized candy canes.
I want the jumbo.
He's like, give me one at least 2 inches round. Give me that bitch.
Old Saint like, Nick said he'd never seen a tongue. There's only been one tongue he's seen that fucking intricate and fucking whatever, and that was Rudolph.
Yeah. The sloppy sister was actually named after Matt.
Yep.
He's like, God damn, dude, I just got off fucking work. All right, can we stop talking about my oral game?
And a
story.
It's actually a fucking Clark thing because I can do that whole tongue thing, but with condom wrappers, I can turn it into a fucking crane. And it's called oral gami.
Oh, damn.
And I can do the same thing with balloon animals with my tongue.
Oh, that was the wrong one.
That worked out. Dude, Matt, did you take one of those edibles?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did.
You look high as fuck.
I am, dude. That shit's like hit me weirdly harder than normal.
Yeah, I can suck a condom off a dick, blow it up, still in my mouth, turn it into a fucking balloon animal, and I can talk with it in there, and I call it a mush puppy.
Dude, Matt, when you gave me one of those edibles the other night while we were drinking, I was not able to talk. One, my fucking tongue kept sticking to the roof of my mouth, and 2, it's like, dude, I couldn't feel my fucking mouth. Like, I could not talk.
Well, Mike, that's how you play tongue wrestling.
And I can't think, dude. Like, that shit fucked me up. Like, that's why, like, near the end of the night after we took them, I just laid down. I was like, I can't. Like, the room was spinning so much. I was so fucking cross-faded.
Go on.
Like, I can't conversate.
All right, Casey.
Can't articulate words.
Articulate.
So, Project Iceworm was a top secret U.S. Army program during the time of the Cold War, and this project launched in 1960 and was canceled in 1966 due to unstable conditions of the ice sheet. The purpose of this project was to build a network of mobile nuclear missile launch sites under the Greenland's ice sheet, and with the install of this vast network of nuclear missile sites, it was so that we could survive a first strike event. And this, what were you say?
Oh, I was going to say, we watched how they were making them. They would put up those sheets of metal in like a tubular form and then cover it.
Half pipe of metal.
Yeah.
Trench it out and then half pipe of metal over it.
And then
did you guys watch that like early like 90s informational video that they like the teacher would roll out on a VHS.
We watched this guy.
Let's talk about Greenland.
Yeah, we watched this guy that can only be explained as somebody that was one of the English dub actors for Speed Racer. This motherfucker was like, and then like he's just talking hella fucking fast. Like slow down, brother. We got all night. Come on,
dude. Okay, so I couldn't remember the name, but I got it. I looked it up. I bet they made that shit out of pykrete. You guys know what that is?
No,
I've heard.
So
of it.
that is you fill up blocks like a container with sawdust, and then you pour water in it, and you let it freeze. You let it freeze, and it is some of the most durable fucking shit you could ever fucking make.
I can tell you how they built the base. I got all the notes right here.
Mike, I just like to announce
no
for people that
pykrete.
can't see this. Your dad popped into the fucking frame for like 2 seconds, and I love how your dad always makes a shirtless cameo at like every podcast.
Dude, within 10 minutes of him getting home from work, shirts off, and he's taking a nap.
Hell yeah, dude! I'm the same way. I take my clothes off. If I don't take a shower, I go right to the couch in my boxers. I just fucking usually.
I know. I've like been at your house a couple times when you got off work. I just wish you would check to see if anybody's on the couch first. He sat right in my lap. It was very uncomfortable, but sexy.
Mike, why do you think I do it on purpose, Mike? Why do you think I wear my boxers on backwards where the holes in the ass?
Let me tell you about the construction of this base. So it was under the command of Captain Tom Evans. And
was that the guy in the videos that was walking around with the fucking
Captain America
in his mouth?
I don't know what he looks
There's
like.
a guy always pointing at papers or looking at people like he's giving orders, and he's always like talking and everything, but he has one of those old school Popeye pipes, Sherlock Holmes pipe in his mouth, not holding it with his hand. It's like this motherfucker's got a straw jawbone. Like,
Yeah, probably. They had
yeah, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. They had a 3-month-old Eskimo sled dog that was the camp's mascot that they weren't even supposed to allowed to have, but they had it there. But I just wanted to throw that out there. But so the way that they built this base, they had to build a 3-mile road bringing 6,000 tons of supplies. It would require to build the $8 million facility. Most of the heavy equipment, including vehicles, were brought by bobsleds, known as heavy swings, which had the maximum speed of 2 miles an hour, making it a 70-hour trip from the Thule Air.
Were those bobsleds pulled by dogs?
No, they were machine ones, but
okay,
they just went super slow.
So like snowmobiles, kind of.
Yeah, basically just like massive ones that only went 2 miles an hour.
When I hear bobsled, I'm not thinking of something motorized.
And
You're
then
thinking about a guy named Bob sledding on your crotch. Okay.
The engineers used Swiss-made Peter plows to dig deep trenches in the snow and ice. The trenches then were covered up with a roof of steel arches and topped with more snow. And inside the trenches, the engineers would set up prefabricated wooden buildings, leaving airspace on each side to minimize melting. And the way that they built these things, like they pre-built them outside of this place, and then they sent them out to make sure they had all the parts.
Yeah,
and they would send it to the guys, and then they would put it together exactly how they like, just by the instructions. So basically, any idiot could put it together.
Have you ever seen the prefab buildings that they build sometimes on commercial sites? No. Where they build, like they pour the form and they put all these brackets in, and then they fucking put the whole fucking wall up at once.
Dude,
prefabricated. Pretty dope. Like when you come out of Sacramento, like off to your right, kind of where that fucking In-N-Out and Sizzler's at. I don't know what place that is, but near those things on your way home from Sacramento before you get on 70. Mm-hmm. Or 99. Before you get on 99, they did a whole bunch of prefab buildings out there.
Oh, nice.
I keep forgetting. I didn't think about it. I keep forgetting this, that you're an expert builder because you do construction. I always forget that. You gotta
that I work construction.
Yeah, it's like you have to look past a musician and editor to see the construction man in front of us as well.
Yeah, honestly, I really like working construction. It fascinates me.
I think you just like catcalling young men.
Well, if I do it to women now, like the cops show up.
Yeah, we were watching them in the videos of them fucking putting the metal and shit, like whatever, doing that, and then the wood thing. I don't know. It seemed cool. Like if you were trying to build a fucking like a massive igloo fort, it looked pretty cool.
Yeah.
That looks pretty sick for
Dude,
America.
you guys should look into the fucking Pykrete, because I'm surprised that they didn't do it, because I think Pykrete is bulletproof. I don't know if bomb proof because it's made out of fucking ice, but you know.
That's what I call a facial when you just like instead of bukkake, I call it Pykrete.
A pie skeet.
Pie skeet.
No, so yeah, no, what we were confused about is that in the documentaries we've seen was the size of it, because one documentary said it was the size of Indiana.
Well, guys always lie about their size, all right? Was the dude? We don't know. Was the chick?
We don't know. Was it 200 football fields? We don't know.
Now, were they measuring with men's dick size? Mixed men's dick size or women's hair length?
Yeah, they were like, it's about one Mike Tyson sized dick of an operation. We got it's fucking.
You guys, the measuring tape we chose to use was our wieners, and we're in the cold, so it's undercalculated.
We're doing this in kilometers.
It's as big as Alaska if it wasn't cold.
I guess the jizz of the of what we were trying to say, the gist was how big was the fucking was
facility.
whatever the facility, because we heard
3 of them
the size of
there's one. Those are just the 3 air bases that we had in Greenland, but the place that we're talking about is just one massive place on the ice sheet.
We're talking about Century, right?
Camp Century, yeah. So let me get to that one sec. So this project was kept secret for a long time, and it didn't come to light until 1955 when the Danish Foreign Policy Institute made an inquiry into the history of the storage of nuclear weapons in Greenland. But the Pentagon told official media that Project Iceworm, aka Camp Century, would be a testing site for soldiers. They led everyone to believe that the troops were being shipped off to Greenland because of the frigid conditions would prepare them from space travel. Now, the actual thing that the Pentagon was doing, their main mission of Project Iceworm was to construct a network of train tracks beneath the ice. The tracks themselves would span a distance of nearly 2,500 miles for trains to mobilize 600 nuclear warheads. And America wanted to keep all its nuclear weapons on the move so that the Russian spies could never discover the actual locations if the missiles were in constant transit.
That's the thing about... Oh, sorry.
Ahead. No, you're good.
I don't know if you were going to cover the fucking global warming thing.
Or somewhere down here.
Oh, is it down the list? I've already been jumping the gun. Well, you already had your shit. That's why I was making sure. Never mind. We'll talk about it when you get to it.
I didn't know about the trains. What? I mean, I guess that's a kind of dope concept. I mean, they can't track them. You know, it's like, oh, where are they?
It's like Minesweeper.
Right. Whack-a-mole. They just come out of ice sheets.
In an alternate universe, we were actually working in there, and Wesley hopped on one of those trains and lost his fingers.
Oh, wow.
That's a deep cut joke right there. No, damn. Were you gonna get to their pipelining and shit, like the mechanisms of shit? How they were getting they had that fresh water. They had a well system that I quote from this fucking thing that we watched. They said they were milking icebergs. And I was like, I didn't know you could milk. I didn't know that was a term, milking an iceberg.
Look at the teeth on that iceberg. That can sink a ship.
You gotta be gentle.
We'll be getting to that. It's called a Rodwell, but
and they said they're milking the iceberg and Celine Dion singing in the background.
Oh wow!
So as we said, the project site was called Camp Century, and it was started. Well, no, we already know it's started by the United States, but it had a location that's located at an elevation of 6,600 feet in northwest Greenland and 150 miles from the Thule Air Force Base. And this camp was described as a demonstration of an affordable ice-cap military outpost. It was a system of 2,500 miles in length and can be used to deploy 600 nuclear missiles that would reach the Soviet Union in an event of a war. The missiles would be under cover of the ice sheets, and although Iceworm was top secret, Camp Sentry, I fucking spelled camp wrong right there. Camp Sentry, I was like, what the hell is Camo Sentry? Camp Sentry was described and approved, discussed and approved by the government of Denmark. And then, so what they told the Danish that they were just testing,
Right? How did they convince them?
They lied to them. They weren't supposed to have nuclear arms there
don't
at
worry
all.
about what these Huskies are pulling. 150
Go
miles.
ahead and do what you're going to do.
That's what the point was. They weren't
You don't
supposed to have
care.
they weren't supposed to have the shit there, so they were hiding it.
It was supposed to be a military outpost, just for training soldiers, not for storing up nuclear arms.
Yeah, and so they weren't supposed to have the shit there, so they were fucking stashing it.
We don't explain why this bobsled is so big.
That's a fucking
with a tarp over it.
The Danish soldiers just watching them, just like saluting, just smiling.
But they had a total of 21 trenches that were covered in arched roofs, and inside the prefabricated buildings built a total length of 1.9 miles, and these tunnels contained an area known as Main Street that was 1,100 feet long, 26 feet wide, and 30 feet tall. That's where all the people did their shindigs.
Yes,
they had a chapel, they had a shop, a theater, a hospital, a military base, a complete gym, a kitchen and cafeteria, laundry area, communication center, a barber shop, and multiple barrack facilities. And each barrack facility included one large common area, 5 individual rooms that were separated from the ice surrounding them with the air gap that I said earlier to minimize the melting and internal heating. And deep holes were drilled into the ice cap to provide fresh source of water. Fresh source of cold air to also help eliminate the melting. And there were approximately 200 soldiers there. And then from 1960 to 1963, their electricity was provided by the world's first mobile and portable nuclear reactor. And it was called the PM2A facility. And it was designed by Alco, which is an American auto locomotive company.
Did anybody get stuck in a cave and try to put one of those in their chest?
No, because they're pussies.
Like all that shit. They were like essentially a fucking village down there, and like in that fucking theater they had.
It's like
from what we've seen, welcome to the Fallout. From what we've seen, it looked like, unless they were just showing footage of something else, like it showed fucking like women dancers and shit. So just in case anybody thought that it was a complete frozen eel fest party down there, it was I think they had like fucking women entertainers and other shit. They definitely weren't just fucking each other down there. They might have, which I actually brought this up to Wesley earlier. The whole don't ask, don't tell thing actually originated here because they would catch gay people in the act because people kept getting their tongues stuck to people's dicks because it was below. I think what it said on there, it was like below like negative 70 degrees or some shit. It
was overnight was
overnight. Yeah, overnight was negative 70. So when they woke up in the morning and they're just like, and then they go in there and there's just a bunch of dudes with their tongues stuck to dicks.
stuck to poles, like, if you will.
I'm getting tired of this shit. These pole fancies, and that's why they started that then. They were just like, I mean, it was really
explain to me why your tongue is on his private. And then the soldier's like, have you ever seen A Christmas Story?
and I just want to say I mean the word pole fancy lightly because here at the Conspiracy Outpost we are completely 100% behind gay people being gay. Okay, so we have no problem with it, but the military did, especially when tongues are getting frozen to dicks.
Dude, that's what when they were talking about it's like how do we get fresh water, dude? Are you thirsty? Do you want some? It's like a stalagmite.
Do you want some of my pie?
Like scraping like fucking ice like at the freezer, just like.
Do you want some of my piecrete? Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
Oh my
Dude, by the way, I seen some of that shit in that cafeteria. That shit looked delicious as fuck. Not gonna lie, remind me of school lunches.
Dude, but also it's like, hey, we're not gonna let the Danish know, but also we're gonna make a full ass documentary.
Hopefully all this entertainment and just fucking lack of nature and real light and plants down here. Hopefully you could be distracted with fucking a third grade lunch. Eat up, you fucking third graders.
You're all sitting there, you're getting that mashed potato fucking scoop of ice cream thing they used to give with the fucking gravy turkey on top of it. It's like, why are you looking at it like that? It's like, no, I mean, it's delicious and everything, but it's like, what are we, a secret fucking nuclear base underneath Greenland? Wait, it was Greenland, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Do you have anything on Clench Fist?
Nice.
No, are you fucking around or is this a...
No, it's real. It's legit real.
Okay, because
it was south of Camp Century. Me and Joseph looked it up, and it was called Camp Clench Fist.
So yeah, at this camp, they didn't get their tongue stuck to the poles. They got their hands stuck to the poles.
I wish I thought of that joke.
You get a drink of water and you milk the wrong thing.
That's it. So Wesley was trying to figure out the thing because they said that it was the size of Indiana, and it's like there's no fucking way. And then other things said it was the size of something
200 football fields,
200-foot ball fields,
or 52,000.
Americans will use anything but the metric system.
More football fields. Just tell them.
So we were in the kitchen, and Wesley was trying to look up the fucking schematics of the shit or the mapping out of it, and then that's when we stumbled upon fucking what'd you say south of it?
Yeah, south of
there was Camp
Thule.
Yeah, there's
like catty cornered was Camp
Clench Fist, and I was like, yeah, they were clenching their fists. Because it was like, yeah, because we had to get icicles shoved up our asses, like carrot size? No, like stalagmite size with the sharp ends and everything.
Yeah, they might as well call that place just Camp White Knuckler.
Damn.
Goddamn, but yeah, that's a hilarious fucking
So
name.
I just what I was reading didn't even bring it up. I'm just like, all right, that's just gonna be on the map. We just don't talk about it.
We're not going to tell you how big it was, but here's a hilarious name of one of the fucking things.
Bases.
Fucking south of Century, there's a base called Clench Fist.
Is that all you guys? There's no information on it, just that?
That was it. It was just like, here's a map. Here's where Thule is. Here's where Century is. Thule, whatever. Yeah. And then it was like Camp Clench Fist. And it did not bring it up at all. I was like, what?
You think they ever competed in games like summer camp? And it's like, Thule, you're in last place. Oh man, I wish I could go to Clench Fist.
Dude, I think fucking do you guys think at a camp at any of these camps like that and then Camp Century, do you think it was just like any other camp and your camp counselors came into your room at night and molested you?
They did. Well, they said they had a church, so
Damn.
There was 100%.
There's probably a Catholic one. No. So as Joseph was bringing up earlier, they got their water from a device called a Rodwell, and it was the way this worked. It melted glaciers, and they tested it for germs and plague as they were pulling the water up. But it was originally called the Rodriguez well. It was envisioned by a Swiss glaciologist, Henry Bander of Rutgers University, and developed by Raul Rodriguez, or maybe it was Paul Rodriguez. Maybe I put the wrong letter. Raul or Paul, we don't know. But of the United States Army for economical harvesting of drinking water in polar areas. And this led into a sub project of Camp Century. And here we go. The way the well worked, it uses heat exchangers and a submersible pump to create a cavity deep under the glacier's surface and cycle the heated water up the ice shaft, siphoning a portion of the flow for consumption before sending the rest back down into the well. The heated water is used to melt the shaft over 100 feet deep, eventually forming a cavity beneath the surface to a point where the shaft ends. By continuously replenishing this pool of heated water, the deep pocket of melted water gradually expands, renewing the supply of fresh water available to be pumped to the surface. This process was inspired by an observation that the room temperature sewage injected into Arctic surface eventually formed a pocket around 100 feet down, which would not refreeze as long as more sewage was continuously injected. The lifespan of the Rodriguez well is over 7 years, ending with the depth of the cavity becomes too deep for the facility to efficiently heat and recirculate the water.
Okay, so wait, you keep pumping more poop in there and it won't freeze?
No, it was inspired by that.
Oh, okay.
So it was inspired by a very shitty story.
Yeah, it was inspired by a sewage system basically set up, and then they created this. But they actually use there's one in current use at the National Science Foundation, Ashman, Scott, and South Pole Station, and then there's talks about future use, which is NASA is currently working on with Cold Regions Research and Engineering Laboratory of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to design a proof of concept of the Rodriguez well to be used in polar regions of Mars.
So
that'd be cool.
How do we stop keeping the poop from freezing?
Methane.
More spicy foods.
Damn.
Damn, dude, it's warm as fuck in here. What's your secret? Tapatio poop.
So as I was saying earlier, within 3 years of this project being put into place, glaciologists working at the Camp Century found that the ice core samples suggested that the glaciers were moving much faster than anticipated and would destroy the tunnels and launch stations within 2 years. The facility was evacuated in 1965. They removed the nuclear generator, which led to Project Iceworm being canceled and Camp Century being closed in 1966. Despite it being seemingly stable, the ice cap is in a constant, slow movement spreading outward from the center. This spreading movement over the course of a year causes tunnels and trenches to narrow as the walls deform and bulge, eventually leading to the collapse of a ceiling by the mid-1962. The ceiling of the reactor room within Camp Century had dropped and had to be lifted 5 feet during a planned reactor shutdown for maintenance in July of 1963. And then the Army decided to operate Camp Century as a summer camp only, and they didn't reactivate the PM2 reactor, and the camp resumed operations in 1964 using a standby diesel power plant, and the portable reactor was removed that summer.
Do you think they had the same problems that New Jersey had with their summer camps? Well, at least one summer camp.
Is this a molestation
Elaborate.
joke?
No, there's this summer camp in New Jersey called Camp Crystal Lake, where a mass killer and his mom killed him.
Is that in New Jersey?
At least in the first one.
It actually, due to all the fun fact, due to all the fucking nuclear shit, they opened it as a summer camp, and all the humans mutated into animals, and they called it Camp Laszlo.
It'd be funny if they made like another Jason movie, but then instead of Jason going around, like at first it starts out as Jason, and then you get the Jersey Devil coming in doing some kills.
Fuck Freddy versus Jason. Jason versus the Jersey Devil.
Jersey Devil.
That should be hella funny.
No, that makes sense because they had the movie where it's like Jason Voorhees goes to New York.
Oh yeah. Jason takes Manhattan, and that one dumbass dude tries to box him.
Yeah,
They had a Jason movie with him in space.
Yeah, that's
but
Jason X.
that was in the future, man.
Yeah, it was Jason X.
He was
It fucking
entombed
ridiculous.
and then brought into space.
Oh, is that
And
what it
then
was?
next to nanites.
I actually have the ending
Kinda
of
like
that
the
fucking Jason.
Fast and Furious.
It'd be Jason versus the Jersey Devil. At the end, they would battle each other, not in a murdering spree or like a physical fight, but playing skee ball with Kevin Smith as the referee. and a very poorly CGI'd version of the guy that played Professor Snape. What's his name? That actor.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, and it would be so offensive.
R.I.P. Rickman.
It'd be so offensive, like the fucking the Superman fucking CGI in the Flash that offended everybody. It would be that kind of fucking CGI, and it's him fucking there smiling and just nodding his head.
Yeah, because Alan Rickman plays God in this, and spoiler alerts, but Jason goes up and he tries to kill God, and so he chases him around with like a chainsaw and a machete, and God's like freaking out. And
Alan Rickman
doesn't exist in this timeline.
It's a CGI of Alan Rickman, but the voice is a dub over with Michael Myers doing it.
Michael Myers or Mike Myers? Because Michael Myers don't talk.
No, I mean Mike Myers, not Michael Myers.
Yeah, he's just sitting there.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. Do I make you
horny, baby? Yeah.
That's no right being that funny.
Yeah.
It really doesn't. It shouldn't be that funny.
But it is.
I think it'd be funnier if he was using his Shrek voice.
Well, what he was doing
Why are you following me?
This is my Jason gets into heaven after finding the Jersey Devil, and he's going after God. He's like, "What are you doing in my swamp?"
This is my swamp.
I like my privacy.
Yeah.
How do you do that? Like when you're doing your Alan Rickman impersonation, it sounds like you're talking from like your jaw.
Yeah, dude. I thought that's how he talked.
Yeah, like it sounds like it.
In the wise words of
It's
Casey,
like, how are you doing
I'm gonna
that?
edit the shit. In the wise words of Casey, but I'm gonna edit the shit. Say with your jaw, then. Casey always says, "Say with your chest."
Say it with your chest.
Say with your jaw, then, and then that's when you fucking turn around and you do oh god, what's any fucking singer from the '90s that does the fucking thing like they said in Ted. I don't want to be with you.
Yeah. The Eddie Vedder fucking mumbles.
I was trying to remember that guy, but he really does sing with his fucking jaw.
I mean, like, yeah, Eddie Vedder. It's like, dude, listen to fucking Alive or Yellow Ledbetter or fucking like pretty much any Pearl Jam song, and it's like you can't understand. He mumbles so much. He does not close his mouth. It's like, where are you from? And he's like, I think he's from LA, even though he they started the band in Seattle. But it's like, dude, I swear to God, you're Cajun.
Dude,
I'm
not gonna lie, and we'll have to edit this. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll have to edit this name out. But every time I like do any like type of voice with my jaw, I think it's this girl. She's always like,
I know who it is.
Like she's always like her
just underbite.
Yeah, she's always she's got an underbite. It's this girl we know that has like this underbite. We'll have to edit that name out. But I just had to make sure Casey. Is that mumble rock? Is that like the equivalent of mumble rap?
Yeah, like dude, the '90s was full of it.
I slit the wrist down.
Dude, he just wrote a Creed song.
Oh, I thought you said a Crank song. I was like, about Crank, like the drug, or about Jason Statham's fucking knockout.
Oh my god! I was on my way to work. This morning, and I saw this fucking tweaker crossing the street between Bank of America and Popeyes.
Like Jason Statham?
And they were walking, and then they stopped in the middle of the road because the goddamn walk sign had the hand. It didn't have the person walking anymore, and he just stopped, and he was just standing there, high off his ass, just like zeroed in on the fucking sign.
It's like, damn. Oh, so like, by the way,
I was just like, what the fuck?
So documents published by Denmark in 1997 outlined in a 1960 Army report called "The Strategic Value of Greenland Ice Cap." It stated if fully implemented, the project would cover a 52,000 square mile area, about 3 times the size of Denmark. The launch complex floors would be 28 feet below the surface, with missile launchers even deeper. Cluster of missile launchers would be spaced 4 miles apart, with new tunnels to be dug every year, so that by the 5-year mark would hit, there would be thousands of firing positions in which the missiles could be rotated. The subsurface tunnels, there would be subsurface tunnels to be constructed and maintained to host a stockpile of 6,000 specially modified medium-range nuclear missiles dubbed Iceman missiles, and these missiles were developed by modifying the U.S. Air Force existing stockpile of Minuteman missiles used for the extreme cold. And that's everything that I have on Iceworm. Besides, like, their aftermath effect, if you guys want to hear about all that too.
I do.
Well, I can tell. Oh, yeah, okay, then you can tell it, because I have the aftermath of it is so fucking hilarious. So what are we talking about? 1966 or 67? Yeah, when they're closing it down and shit.
Yeah. So the camp was decommissioned in 1967. Its infrastructure and waste there were abandoned under the assumption that they would be entombed forever by the perpetual snowfall. But then in 2016, a study found that a portion of the ice sheet covering Camp Century will start to melt by 2100. And if current trends continue, when the ice sheet melts, the camp's infrastructure, as well as the remaining biological, chemical, and radioactive waste, will re-enter the environment and potentially disrupt nearby ecosystem. This includes 200,000 liters of diesel, PCBs, and radioactive waste. Scientists, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know if you were gonna cover that. They said that. So they found the shit because the ice. Okay, climate change, fucking global warming. The ice started melting.
If you believe
They
such things.
had climatologists or whatever the fuck. They went out the fucking. They went to go check shit. Whatever. I don't know what they're called. I might have just made that word up.
Glaciologist.
No. It literally has climate in the name of it.
These guys, it's probably climatologist then.
Yeah. So that because of snow, because every year, because of fucking global warming, the ice gets small, like it gets lower and lower and lower. So they went there and it's like, oh, this is the camp, whatever thing. And they're like, wait a minute, this isn't in the blueprints they showed us. And it's like, oh, because of the ice melting, it uncovered fucking everything, like all their fucking shit. And it's like, yeah. So by time you said 2100. Yeah. But and something else we watched at 2090. So it's like, I mean, it probably varies. I mean, here or there, that's only 10-year fucking different. We'll be dead, but
well, depends.
Yeah, just like the diapers which we will be wearing in that year.
Yeah.
No, so they said that, yeah, with all of that shit, but also, yeah, it could leak into the water and just spread the fuck out, like it just. Like catastrophic shit.
And you know what the waste was? It was like a nuclear coolant, is what they said. They said it was like the
47,000
gallons that surrounds the cells.
What? No, are you talking about diesel?
No. 47,000 gallons of radioactive waste.
Yeah,
that's how much is under there.
Is that the water that surrounds the cells?
Yeah, whatever cools it down is what they were saying.
Yeah, usually they're submerged in water.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I mean, at least it's not just the straight uranium or what the fuck ever.
that was one of the things they fucking feared, though, is it spreading out, and it'll spread out in the ocean and fucking everything else.
Yeah, back in the 60s, they thought that it would just be underneath the ice forever.
Yeah, because they're fucking, and that's what, when me and Wesley were watching, I was like, another thing America's dumbass didn't fucking take into fucking account. Like, it's just like a fucking another dumbass thing, because I know it's basic knowledge to us now, but it's like that's not how things work. but
bear pig isn't real.
They also did ice core samples in the 70s, and They were analyzing the stable isotopes to determine past temperatures and sea level changes. The results indicated that the site was ice-free as recently as 400,000 years ago, suggesting a much reduced Greenland ice cap and therefore a much higher sea level. And then,
Casey, but back then, global warming used to be a conspiracy. Now over 90%, because we're witnessing it every day, believe in it. Like literally, they say 90-something% of the world believes in it now. But it used to be a conspiracy, much like cigarettes giving you cancer used to be a conspiracy until it was blatantly fucking said.
Something I just wanted to bring up because you said we're not going to be alive in 2090 or whatever, but like. When we're in old folks' home, you think it's kind of funny that we will be rocking out to fucking Lincoln Park in an old folks' home? Like,
oh, dude, I was making a joke about listening to classic fucking classic hip hop and being an old ass fucking white man.
Cunt Renaissance, please.
Cunt Renaissance. Back in my day, this used to slap. Ew! Don't use that language. It's cringy.
You know that fucking South Park episode where they're on the old folks home and he keeps playing fucking rap music. They got me locked up in here. That like,
dude, I'm trying to see if I can do a rap voice with an old big rip the twat down in the weed spot. Ain't no dick like the one I got. Big rip the twat. Even vacant lots.
Man.
I just did a circle of lyrics.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Casey. I don't know. Yeah. Casey hates us.
I mean, we got to get some of this in. It's like it's part of the podcast.
It's part of the pod. All right, Casey. So
we still don't know about Clench Fist, but we'll figure it out eventually.
There was actually and there was one. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say there was Clench Fist, and there was actually another side that was called Stench Fist, and you don't want to know what they were doing.
You got people mouthing the poles, clenching the poles, and, well, burying the poles.
Brown knuckling. All right, Casey. Sorry.
And as of 2018, the
Geology department?
Geological Survey of Greenland maintains a climate monitoring presence at the site of Camp Sentry, called the Camp Sentry Climate Research Station. This monitoring present includes measurements of climate variables, snow and ground surface temperatures, ice penetrable radar, and surveys of subslab and continent fields. God, I can't talk right now.
Is that the Danish?
But they're just sitting there monitoring this shit, waiting for it to pop off.
Yeah, I think that might have been
it's the Danish. Well, not the Danish anymore.
The Danes. Yeah. It's probably just NATO keeping an eye on it, to be honest. Various representatives of NATO.
Right.
Hashtag blame the Danes.
But that's all I got for this Iceworm. What do you guys think of it all?
I thought they had a cool club.
I was really hoping this was going to be about The Thing and Kurt Russell. So I'm kind of disappointed. I know that like The Thing isn't necessarily a worm, but
he's got one.
Yeah. It is a shapeshifter, so it can be a worm. Which is what I thought we were talking about. Or that like X-Files fucking episode where there is a worm in Antarctica and it's pretty much Slither but in Antarctica, or Cabin Fever but in Antarctica with fucking space worms. Good episode of X-Files if you've never seen it. Fucking dope episode. But yeah, like I was really hoping it'd be about that, not this official stupid nuclear war bullshit. No, but in all seriousness, this is pretty fucking cool. Again, like it's... Did we even go any over possible conspiracies about this, or it's just like, this is just a cool topic? This is a historical one. Yeah, that's what I thought, because I didn't hear any conspiracies. It's like,
it's one of those,
like, this is hypothetical, but no,
I don't believe it exists.
Documentation.
It's one of those things that it's like maybe someone was like, they're doing something else there, and then they really were.
Yeah.
It's one of those confirmed like
the thing was actually there, even though this was the like Greenland and not Antarctica.
It was more of a conspiracy back in the day because it was
just like MK Ultra and shit.
Yeah.
And,
Did you hear there's mole
what's it-
people on in Greenland.
I guess never mind. I was gonna say Y2K, but that was a debunked conspiracy. But it was still fun to talk about.
I was watching like a Futurama, and there's a part where it shows his parents looking for Fry in the episode where it's about Seymour, the dog, and the dog is trying to get to Fry while he's in the thing, and he's like, "Come on, help us find Fry." And he goes, "Yeah, we haven't found Fry ever since Fry went missing," or something like that. And he goes, "Y2K." He's like, his dad's with Y2K, and he's just blaming it. Oh no, good fucking show. But
Y2K also plays a part in
no, honestly,
Righteous Gemstones.
yeah, honestly, oh, that's cool. Honestly, this is a really fucking cool topic.
No, I just for me, my final thought is it's just like it's hella funny that they were just like, hey, we're gonna do this. Denmark, is this cool? Yeah. And then we're just gonna bury it under the snow and hope everything works out. Adios.
I was actually misled by this topic. I thought it was the sexual the definition of the sexual act that was created by me, where you jerk off onto a gummy worm, you stick it in your lover's mouth. It's called an iceworm.
You gotta freeze it first.
You gotta freeze it first.
But the footage threw me off the most. It's like this'll throw them off the tracks.
Yeah, I thought an iceworm was where you freeze your dick just to where it starts to lose hardness, and then you fuck.
Oh yeah, a cocksicle.
Yeah.
What did you think, Matthew?
About Coldplay?
Yeah.
No, I think it was pretty cool. I was like, I don't know, shit. Maybe they had maybe they're making walrus people down there. I don't know.
Dude, you better keep Justin Long away from there.
Good fucking movie.
What? There's a movie where he fucks a walrus?
No, there's a movie called Tusk where a fucking guy turns him into a walrus.
And he fucks?
That guy.
Let me ask you this question: if you get turned into a walrus, you're not going to go fuck another walrus. Let's be real.
Dude, I don't
one opportunity.
Listen here, I'm saying if you were a
manatee,
walrus, would you fuck another walrus?
Yeah.
Well, when you put it that way, you bet your ass I would.
You go up to the other fish with a horn on its head, and it's like you do gong.
And they throw Justin Long out the van.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that? What is that Brandon Fraser movie called?
The Mummy?
Which one?
The whale. Never mind. I'm thinking about creatures.
I was gonna be like Blast from the Past. Like,
I like how the first name Mummy. It's like we're talking about
Aquatic creature.
no, motherfucker, talking about Dazzled. No,
If you say that one Pokemon, I'll say Pikachu. Like he's.
I was thinking Whaler.
yeah, I hate to get sidetracked by my own joke, but in fucking Jane Silent Bob 2, when Sean William Scott says, "Oh, well, when you put it that way, you bet your ass I would." It sounds like he's turned on, and that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the passionate answer for that. Like he really put himself in that role. It was too much. Would you fuck a sheep if you were also a sheep? And he's like, well, if you put it that way, you bet your ass I would.
Like, there's a place for people like you. It's not. Yeah.
Hey, do you guys think that? Do you guys think that Mr. Hands got buried with that horse in the pet cemetery, and then they both and just like they were just railing it instead of fucking. And
that is almost as good as Matt's joke in that episode.
You guys, that's actually secretly a porn parody I'm making. It's called Pet Semen Terry.
So seriously, on the episode, the fruit machine. I was about to just call it Gaydar. On the fruit machine episode, the Mr. Hands story makes me laugh every single time. But there's one joke in there that makes me absolutely fucking lose it. I laugh my ass off on the pod, laugh my ass off when I was editing it, and then laugh my ass off when I've showed other people. And it's when we get slightly done talking about it, we're talking about the obituary, and Matt goes, "Do you think the horse attended the funeral?" Like we're talking about the funeral, and Matt just goes, it's like we get quiet after like laugh a little bit, About the funeral, he goes, "Do you think the horse attended?"
Oh man,
that's fucking
It was
hilarious.
like,
He was
dude,
my-
that
he
the
was-
best.
we should have said the horse actually wrote, actually read the eulogy. Said he was my friend, he was my lover, he was my neighbor.
Oh, man.
Let me
You
get
can
my
go-
final thought in so I
Yeah.
can
Oh, yeah,
take off.
Shit, sorry.
Casey, sorry.
So for me, all in all, this was a sneaky operation, shrouded in another operation to gain nuclear control. The idea was good with the tunnels, but the location wasn't ideal. Obviously, I don't know why they didn't anticipate ice would melt eventually. But if they would have just gotten full permission to do the operation on land, it would have been more viable and held a
Not to-
stronger stance against the Soviets.
Yeah, not to mention, doesn't nuclear power put out like a lot of fucking heat?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Well,
but of
location
course,
was
everything the
opposite.
United States does is short-sighted and not planned well, and always hiding in the shadows, manipulating the people that stick their necks out for them, which is also fucked up. So we just we helped the Greenland people, like, yeah, come on over.
Did
we're
you
just
write
gonna
that? Did you write that down?
Can
lie to
you?
you. Yeah, I always write down my final thoughts.
Oh, really? You
yeah.
bitch.
It's
That sounded really well articulated. We're over here sound like a couple of assholes.
Yeah.
I also got a question for the listeners too.
The location wasn't optimal because there was not enough walruses there to go around.
and also the motherfuckers didn't anticipate people going around with vision goggles. Like, hey, look, it's just a bunch of snow. Yeah, but why does that hill over there have a chocolate nougaty center? It's just like nice and hot in this general area. All right, sorry. Yeah, Casey, your question to the
Thermal vision, not night vision.
Yeah, here's a question for
You
the
know what? I
listeners.
fucked with your technicality.
How would you feel if another country built a secret military base on U.S. soil? Or for our listeners that are out of the country, how would you or how do you feel about the U.S. building bases on your own soil? Let us know in the comments or in our wherever you want to throw
And
them
please
out
be
there.
heated. We want to see you guys argue.
Let's hear it all.
And also, we want to hear you guys' best sexual puns out of this topic because that'd be hilarious.